episode 585 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Tonight, talking all about AEW Saturday Collision and Battle of the Belts. 10 championships were on the line all tonight, and maybe talk some pro wrestling news too. And sorry. AEW, where the best wrestles, right here, right now. 360 Wrestling Fanatic. And hello everyone, Wrestling Fanatics. Welcome to 360 Wrestling Fanatic on this Saturday night. And you know that Saturday night's alright for fighting. 3 hours of all elite wrestling action tonight. Where the best wrestle, AEW. Yep, that's the new catchphrase, tagline. I like it so far. And tonight, going to be talking about 3 hours of AEW Collision and Battle of the Belts 10. And next week, we will also have another 3 hours of AEW action on a Saturday night with Collision. And next week, a special Saturday night episode, I should say, of Rampage will be airing. So, not only 3 hours of AEW next Saturday, 1 week from tonight, but we're going to have 6 hours to watch next Saturday because it's also TNA Rebellion on pay-per-view 1 week from tonight. But let's get started with tonight's pro wrestling, 3 hours of all elite wrestling. First, we get started with AEW Saturday Collision, which was live in Highland Heights, Kentucky. Our commentators tonight, Tony Schiavone and Daddy Magic Matt Menard, filling in for Nigel McGuinness, which Tony Schiavone explained that he was on assignment this week. And our first match of the night for Collision is a trios match. The House of Black, Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King taking on Dante Martin, Action Andretti, and Matt Sydal. On commentary, Tony Schiavone explains that the reason Darius Martin isn't there because he's getting his pilot license or training to get it or something. And the House of Black is victorious. Pretty good, fast-paced opener here, I thought, in this one. Good match. And next up, Katsuyori Shibata takes on Lee Moriarty with Shane Taylor in his corner. Good match, of course. It's definitely very rare when you see Shibata have a bad match, if ever. If you ever even see Shibata have a bad match, it's definitely not very common. Next up, we see Daniel Garcia and Angelico. And this is something I've been wondering for a while now. I remember on Lucha Underground, they always called him Angelico when he was part of AAA they mostly called him Angelico, but lately they've been calling him Angelico. I just thought they were pronouncing it wrong. But Tony Schiavone actually explained on commentary tonight that he actually prefers that it's Angelico. So I know now to start calling him on the podcast here Angelico. So going forward here on the podcast, going to be calling him Angelico for now on, and probably forever till the end of time. And we have an AEW Women's Championship title eliminator match. Timeless Tony Storm taking on Azium, or Azame, I should say. I might have pronounced it wrong there. Asumi, that's it. Sorry, I made a mistake there. Asumi. And she had in her corner Anna Jay, Tony Storm, of course, Mariah May, gets the win here. And then we hear from the Ring of Honor World Champion Mark Briscoe. And Tony Schiavone is on the stage with Thunder Rosa. And let me just say, she gives a great interview here right now. And talks about the Women's World Championship, how she never lost it. She says she doesn't need Deonna Purrazzo's help. And I think this may have been the best interview I have heard from Thunder Rosa. She was great tonight. And after that, we heard from Deonna Purrazzo in the back, the Virtuosa, which also she gave a good promo as well. And then we have a major announcement that the finals of the AEW World Tag Team Championship at the Dynasty pay-per-view 1 week from tomorrow night, the Young Bucks taking on FTR, will now be a ladder match. Hey, you just have a regular tag team match with the Young Bucks and FTR. You know that's going to be a great match. And then you make it a ladder match. That just makes it even better. That's going to be one that could possibly steal the show at the Dynasty pay-per-view 1 week from tomorrow night. And our main event on Collision, the Blackpool Combat Club team of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and Claudio Castagnoli take on the Don Callis family team, Powerhouse Hobbs, and the Ring of Honor World Television Champion Kyle Fletcher. Really fun, exciting match here. I definitely enjoyed this main event. They fight outside, you go to the announce table, take the cover panel off, Claudio gets on top, jumps off, they get back in the ring, Danielson and Claudio get the victory. But then after the match we see Konosuke Takeshita getting involved, helping out the Don Callis family. And now we stay on TNT for Battle of the Belts 10. Still Tony Schiavone and Daddy Magic Matt Menard still on commentary. Our first match of Battle of the Belts is for the FTW Championship. Hook taking on Shane Taylor. Very good match. Shane Taylor, great wrestler. And Hook also. And I really like Hook. You can put him with a guy about the same size as him. You can put him in there with a guy bigger, quite a bit bigger than him, like Shane Taylor, and he works a really good match. Hook getting the submission win with the Red Rum, retaining the FTW Championship successfully. The AEW International Championship on the line. Roderick Strong defending against Rocky Romero. Good match here. And before the match, Lexi Nair was in the back with Rocky Romero, and Kyle O'Reilly came up, wished him luck. Good match here. The Kingdom get involved, and Wardlow is at ringside as well. Roderick Strong retains the International Championship over Rocky Romero. And then Kyle O'Reilly gets in the ring, congratulates his longtime friend Roderick Strong for retaining his championship. And he goes to check on his other friend, Rocky Romero, but then he is attacked by the Undisputed Kingdom. And we have an announcement in the main event of Battle of the Belts. Tony Schiavone says he is informed by Tony Khan that at the Dynasty pay-per-view, Roderick Strong will defend the International Championship against Kyle O'Reilly. This turn, it was done well, and I expected it eventually, but it was maybe a little sooner than I thought it would be. Because the way it was going, the way they were building this angle, not surprised to see the Undisputed Kingdom turn against Kyle O'Reilly. But like I said, wasn't expecting it to happen on the Battle of the Belts. But Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, sure that's going to be a great match. Our main event for Battle of the Belts 10, we have the Minion Overlord, the forever Ring of Honor champion, defending the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship against Red Velvet. Of course, Athena has her minion, Billy Starks, who is the first ever Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion in history. Pretty good match here. Red Velvet was just very impressive in the tournament for that women's TV title. But is Athena getting the win over Red Velvet with the O face. But then after the match, Billy Starks gets in the ring, a 2-on-1 attack on Red Velvet. But then we see Lady Aminata come out, make the save for Red Velvet, clearing the ring. So that was tonight's episodes of AEW Saturday Collision and AEW Battle of the Belts 10. And I thought we had some pretty good wrestling tonight. I enjoyed all 3 hours of it. Like I said, next week we're going to have 3 more hours of AEW with Collision and Rampage, and also the the TNA Rebellion pay-per-view 1 week from tonight. So I'm going to have 6 hours of pro wrestling, and I definitely plan on doing a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. So with the 6 hours of pro wrestling on another Saturday night, not sure what time next week's episode is going to be starting. Could be very late. So just stay tuned. Hopefully you'll be able to stay up with me and watch all 6 hours of pro wrestling that we have next Saturday. And I haven't had a chance to talk about this yet, but last night, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Windy City Riot, Jon Moxley becoming the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, defeating Naito. And if you wondered if Jack Perry would respond to CM Punk's comments the whole interview, everything. He did. He wore a shirt, Cry Me a River. I might talk about that maybe on another future episode of either Good Morning Wrestling Fans. One of these days, I'll have to see. Eric Young reveals that the WWE deal he signed in 2022 was for 4 years and signed an NDA before exiting. And Big E gives a little bit of an injury update. It says that he's pain-free, but he is not medically cleared for a return. And WWE has released Sue Atkinson. I hope I said that right. But she, behind the scenes, worker for WWE. If you remember, she won one of the Warrior Awards. She is now released from the company, though. And that looks like all the news I have for tonight on episode 585 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I appreciate everyone who listens. Either you listen to it or you download it, whichever you do. Remember, in the comment section, you can leave your thoughts on tonight's Collision and Battle of the Belts. Also, you can go ahead and leave your predictions now for next week's TNA Rebellion and AEW Dynasty pay-per-views. I will be back to talk to you all tomorrow morning on the Sunday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. And once again, thank you for tuning in. And I will hope you all will join me tomorrow morning. I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.